questions you have, feel free to ask the questions. All right. Vinod, can you please maximize the PPT size? Yeah, I will actually have a larger screen for the presentation next time. Question from Aline. If I have already installed NetBeans, can you help me please how to set a new NetBeans? You can just install it. If you have installed for now, the latest version of 7.3.1, and if you have installed the previous version of NetBeans, you can just install the second one without a problem. Okay, so you can in fact have a multiple version of NetBeans. In fact, if in my window I have NetBeans 7.2.1, NetBeans 7.3, NetBeans 7.3.1. So I have a multiple version of NetBeans. So it's perfectly fine to install the new version on the top of what you already have. Okay, so there is no problem whatsoever. So just install it. If you have already installed the latest version of 7.3.1, then you don't have to install NetBeans. Okay, but if you try to reinstall, it will just say, it will just override whatever files it already has. So without a problem. New workspace. Oh, okay. So the Aline was asking, how can I so all you have to do in NetBeans, Eclipse has a concept of NetBeans, the workspace, right? In NetBeans, it doesn't have the Eclipse-like workspace. All you have to do is just provide a different, directory when you create a new file, new project. Okay. So I'm gonna actually show you that later on when we do exercise 1. Okay. Question from Mayank. I have Java 6 already installed. Does this NetBeans 7 work with it? Yes, you can use existing Java SE6 JDK. Okay, so you can use, in fact, JDK 5, JDK 6, or JDK 7. Any of those 3 versions should work fine. Okay, so if you already installed the JDK, yeah, you don't have to install if you already installed JDK 6, you can use that one. And NetBeans 7 should actually pick it up without a problem. Question from LP. Can you please explain what problem will a space in path of Java JDK will create? Yeah, so, if you have a JDK in program files on the JDK, sometimes you are going to run some, let's say, some batch file, okay? And that batch file will actually try to run Java command, and then sometimes in the command line window, the space is not really, for example, when you run Java command, it will try to run Java command from program files, and Windows sometimes it doesn't understand the program files is in fact the one single word. Okay, so it will actually consider program as actually a single word, and then files as a second the argument. Okay, so that's the problem I'm talking about. Okay. So in general, you shouldn't. And then, so in that case, what you have to do is you have to actually, in your bin file, you have to actually use this double quotation program files. So like program files like this and bin Java. Okay. So this is actually going to work, because in this case, program file will be considered as a single word. But suppose if you have a bin file in the program files, now if you try to run this guy like this, suppose I go to program file. Yeah, so if you actually try to run program in Java, and then somewhere, suppose I have Java like this, then Windows will consider this program as one word, and this file is a second word. So so that's the problem I'm talking about. Any other questions? Question from Hitel. So why does Windows install Java in 2 different places? So yeah, that's actually what I mentioned before. So it actually installed the JDK. So in my case, it will install the JDK here, okay? And then it also actually installed the runtime environment, okay, on, for example, like a program files. Yeah, so the question is, why does it install in two different places? So in many cases, you want to be able to run, for example, the Java applications without actually setting this environment JDK. So in many cases, the uh, the um, so without actually setting this JDK, you want to actually run, your Java application. So, in the case of Windows, program files and Windows 32, the Windows system 32, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so this is actually default. This is already included in the path. Okay, so the reason that the reason is actually installing Java runtime in two different places. One in JDK and another one in JRE is to let your Java application run without a problem. Okay, so that's pretty much the only reason. Does that answer your question, Hital? So we will be back in 11:05, 10 minutes from now. Okay, good question. So question was, when a program runs, which JRE does it reference? Okay, so it will pick it up from your path. Okay, so if I actually in my path, I have this path set up right here. Okay, so it will pick it up from this directory. But if you don't set this up, then it will pick it up from the Win program files and Win32. Okay, so this one is already System32. This is already in your path. So this one is already in your path, program files, Java, JRE, Bean. Okay, so if you don't set up this path as I've done, that's basically what I explained here. Okay, so in my case, if I actually see, I'm gonna use the which command, which is actually from Sigwin. If I say Java, it will pick it up from the path that I set up. Okay, if I didn't set this up, as I actually explained, here, okay, if I don't set this up like this, then it will pick it up from this directory. Okay, but as I said before, the Java C, that is only available from JDK. So when you run Java C, okay, it will pick it up from, in my case, so if I say which Java C, it will pick it up from JDK directory. So there is no Java C in program files. So if you actually go to program files and if you try to find the Java C, it's not there. Okay. All right. So that's the reason, some of you, when you run the Java C, you're going to actually see Java C is not available problem. Okay. Because you haven't set the JDK bin directory as part of your path. Okay. Does that answer your question? Let me see. That's from Hitel. Okay. So let me know if that answered your question. Next question from Omar. When you unzipped the file and went to the command line, everything you did was too fast. I got lost. Sorry about that. So, okay, let me try again. So once you download the zip file, okay. By the way, that is actually explained in the, if you just go to, without logging in, okay, I explained this one. So go to jpassion.com website and log out. And there is how to, yeah, so here, once you become paying subscriber, please see how to take jpassion.com courses. So if you click this link and explain how you take this course. So basically, you are going to go whatever course of your choice. In this case, is Java programming. then it will have a set of PDF file and lab and recording. So for hands-on lab, all you have to do is just download this lab file, okay? And once you download it, you can use any, the unzip utility of your choice, okay? In my case, I'm gonna actually use a jar command, okay? So I'm gonna save that file. So I saved it, and all you have to do is basically unzip it. You can actually use jar command. Okay, so let me actually show that again. So I go to MATLABs. Okay, so this is jar command. You can use jar. So assuming you have already installed the JDK. So this jar is actually from JDK. Okay, so we're gonna actually learn about jar later on. It's actually one of the topics that we are going to cover. So you can say jar xvf and this zip file. But again, you can use any unzip utility of your choice. Okay, so Windows comes with unzip, so you can just use that. On macOS, same thing. Okay, so you can do this. Okay, so this is one way that you can unzip. That's all. Okay, let's see. Demish says no audio. I believe everybody is listening okay, right? Let me know whether you guys actually listening to me okay. Question from Omar. I already have NetBeans installed on my PC. Would it work fine? Yes. Yeah. So, you don't have to actually reinstall NetBeans. You can use the old version of NetBeans, NetBeans 6, NetBeans 7.1, 7.2. So any version of NetBeans after NetBeans 6 is fine. And would it work fine for the rest of this course? Yes, without doing what you did on the command line. Yes. Yeah. So you don't have to do any more installation. That's for Omar. Okay, question from Yank. Can you please show one more time how to check the path Java C is using the command line? Yeah, so I have what is called the sigwin. So, I can use either where command. Again, this is not from the Windows, so you have to install the sigwin. So I say where Java exe. So it will actually tell me where Java is installed. So, this is the one that it will actually use because it's the first. Or I can use a which command. Okay. Yeah, both of these command, which and where, is actually not from Microsoft. This is from Sigwin. So if I go to Sigwin, so in this Java tools. Yeah, so this Sigwin is providing the Unix-like utility for the Windows platform. Okay, so here it does have bin. Oh, maybe where's actually Microsoft command? Where? Yeah, which is actually from Sigwin. I thought where is also actually from Sigwin, but maybe it's not. It's not. So where is actually Microsoft command? I'm not sure. Yeah, where is actually where? I want to actually find out where it is coming. Oh yeah, so where is actually Microsoft command is actually from the so you can use a where, okay, where and Java, okay. Then it will tell you the locations where this java.exe file is installed, okay, and this will be depending on the path. It will actually pick up the one that is actually the first hit in the path, okay? And if you say where Java C, you're gonna actually see Java C is installed only on JDK, okay? All right, so hopefully that answered your question, Mayank. All right. Any other questions? We're gonna get started in 3 or 4 minutes. Okay. Any other questions? So let me just have Danish, people seems to be able to hear me okay, so it might be actually on your end. You might want to check whether you have you don't have any issues on your end. People can hear me okay, right? Yeah, so yeah, everybody seems to be able to hear okay. So Danish, yeah, make sure that you don't have a problem on your end. All right, guys. Any issues on download and installation of JDK and NetBeans? All right, so let's actually start. Okay. All right, so let's move on to the next. So build and run Java programs using command line tools. We are going to actually build and run Java application using command line tools first, and then we are going to use NetBeans, okay? So the tools that we are going to use, we are going to open command line window or terminal window. So that's something we already have done it, okay? And then you are going to use any editor of your choice. So on Windows, you could use Notepad. You could use TextMate on Mac, and one of the most popular editor these days is Sublime Text. So I'm using Sublime Text for most of my, let's say, the Ruby on Rails development. And then you're going to use Java command line tools that come with JDK. Okay, so mainly we are going to use a compiler, which is Java C, and then Java runtime environment, which is represented by Java. So the first application is going to look like this. So later on, we're going to dissect this application line by line, okay? But for now, this is the simplest possible hello world application, okay? So I'm not going to actually talk about this program for now in detail. We're going to just kind of build this application and run it using the tool. So that the goal of this presentation and hands-on lab is, to see how we can use a compiler and the Java runtime environment to run it. So you're going to use text editor. So these are the steps that you're going to follow. First of all, you are going to use your text editor of your choice and then write Java program. Okay, so you're going to name it as hello.java, and then you're going to compile that program. So you're going to use Java C compiler. So you say Java C, and then you provide the name of your Java source file, in this case, hello.java. And then you're going to run Java program. So here you're going to provide Java runtime environment called the Java and hello. All right, so let's do our exercise 1. So let's see the exercise 1 lab documentation. Oops. So exercise 1 is to build hello world application using the Java C and Java command. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is you want to actually, designate a directory where you want to build all your Java applications. So I'm going to actually use my Java programs directory, which I think I already have done that. So I'm going to just go to my Java programs. Okay. So I don't have any program here, okay? So I'm going to write the hello.java files. Again, don't worry about the syntax, all this, and you just copy this file, okay? So I'm going to just copy this Java program, and I'm going to use a notepad, and I'm going to name it as hello.java. Okay, and here, and I save it. Okay, so I have hello.java file created. Okay, and then I'm going to compile that hello.java using Java-C compiler. Okay, so assuming you have Java-C available on your path, I can say Java-C and hello.java. It will create a class file. Okay, so if I see there, you can see class file has been created. So this class file is a binary file. Okay, and this is a text file. All right. Okay. So again, if you see this error, Java-C is not recognized as internal and external comment, that means you haven't set your path. Okay. So you want to add this bin your path, or you can just specify the complete path like this. Okay. So I can just copy this command and run it, and of course this is rather cumbersome to write this way all the time. So that's the reason you want to actually set your environment. You want to actually add JDK bin directory in your path environment variable. All right, so hello class file has been created, which we just verified it. Okay, and then we should be able to run Java hello. So we can say Java hello, and now it says hello world. So let's just change this file. So I'm going to say hello world jpassion.com. I saved it. Okay, and then you should be able to you should compile it. Okay, so you should actually, if you actually run it here, it will still say hello world. Okay, so you have to compile it again. Okay, so I'm gonna actually compile Java-C hello.java. Okay, so it's compiled again. Now if I run, then it says hello world jpassion.com. Okay, all right, so that is, yeah, so you basically change it and run it. Okay, you can see the things you can do with the Java-C compiler. So if you say Java-C dash help, you'll see a bunch of the options you can specify. So we're gonna actually play around some of those later on. You can certainly use verbose option, and it will give you a lot more information. Okay, and the exception. So now there are the two different types of errors, which we're going to actually talk about later on in a bit more detail. So yeah, why don't we? Yeah, so yeah, just play around it. The compile error means that you don't have the valid syntax. So here, if we change this one, for example, incorrect syntax like XXX, okay, and save it, and then if you try to compile it, it will let you know that there is a compile error. Okay, so this is not a valid syntax. Okay, all right, so it says invalid method declaration with, yeah, so the errors might be a little bit kind of vague, but for now, just the fact that you are going to actually experience a compile error is actually good enough. Okay, so again, if you change it back to correct syntax, and then if you compile it again, then it should compile. Okay, all right. And 1.3 is experiment with the Java command. So you can actually see Java and -help, and then again you can see a bunch of other options. Okay. Again, just take a look. I mean, we are going to actually learn some of these options later on. Okay. And again, you can use a verbose, and it will tell you more information about what it does. Okay. And so, with the minus version, then you should be able to see the version. In my case, it should be actually 1.7.0.25, something like that. Okay. So I'll give you guys about the 10 minutes to finish this exercise 1. Okay. Let me make sure that. How to use NetBeans IDE. So here we are going to build and run the same Hello World application using IDE. Here we are going to use NetBeans. So let me just do this full screen mode. So IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. It provides much more pleasant development environment as opposed to command line tools that we have seen in previous exercise. In fact, it provides a complete application development environment. It obviously provides editor and with many conveniences such as syntax highlighting, auto completion, things like that. And it does provide a GUI builder for building GUI application, and it does have a built-in compiler. So underneath, it is using Java, C. Okay, it does have a built-in debugger. It does have a built-in tester. It does have a built-in profiler, and it does have a lot of built-in features. Okay, so there is no reason not to use an IDE, in fact. Okay, so popular IDEs that you can use include Eclipse. Eclipse is more popular than NetBeans out there. NetBeans is again a bit easier for the Java application, but when we actually get into Java EE application, you can use either. Okay, and in jpassion.com. We are using Eclipse for the Java EE and Spring Framework and other things. And in fact, we are using Maven project. So Maven project should be able to be opened by any IDE of your choice, such as Eclipse and NetBeans and IntelliJ IDEA. Some people like IntelliJ IDEA a lot, but it's a commercial. So for free version, usage of NetBeans and Eclipse, either one of those is fine. So why IDE? So it does provide a bunch of editor features such as syntax highlighting, auto completion, automatic syntax error checking, search, code formatting, refactoring, navigation, multiple panes, quick fix, and many more. And we're going to spend some time later on, understanding some of these features. Okay, in NetBeans. So just for now, keep that in mind that IDE provides all these convenience features for you. Development convenience, ready-to-use project templates, the GUI interface, and instead of using command line tools, you are basically using GUI. Single-click build and run, and for example, you can say run in NetBeans, then it will compile first, and then it will run it. Okay, so you don't have to actually do two-step process. Instead, you're going to just click run. Integrated testing and integrated debugging. So these are all features that are actually included as part of the IDE. Tool integration. So we're not going to actually spend some time. You're not going to actually spend time learning source control, source code control such as Git or GitHub or Maven. But these are well integrated with an IDE. So if you want to learn Git or GitHub or Maven, I have jpassion.com has another course called the Java Development Tools. So let me just go to. So if you go to courses. We have Java Development Tools right here. So we cover a bunch of build tools and version control, Maven and Git and GitHub. Okay, today we are not going to actually spend that much time on those things. Okay. All right, errors, syntax errors and runtime errors. I actually talk about this a little bit, okay? So syntax errors are errors that are gonna be detected at compile time. So typically, syntax errors are typo errors, okay? So misspelled command in Java, or forgot to write semicolon at the end of the statement. In Java, every statement should end with a semicolon. So if you forgot it, that is a syntax error. Okay. All right. So these are the syntax errors. For example, static is a keyword. So if you misspelled it, like adding t, that's a compile error. Same thing here. If you don't specify the semicolon at the end, that's a compile error. So these syntax errors are detected at compile time. Okay. So that's something that we have actually experimented. Runtime errors, on the other hand, is a logic errors. Okay, so if you actually try to, so this is the one that does not get detected until you run the application. Okay, so examples are, you want to program to print 100 strings of hello world, but it only print 99. That means your logic is incorrect. So you have to actually, detect why that is the case, and then correct it. Program gets an input from the user, but the user inputted a character, so your program crashes and terminates. So, later on, we're going to actually experiment this one later on in another presentation. Basically, you wrote a program so that you are assuming user enters a number, but if the user enters a character, that is going to actually cause a runtime error. Okay. All right, so that is the end of the presentation. Now let's do exercise 2. So exercise 2 is to build the same Hello World application using NetBeans IDE. Okay, so I assume you have downloaded and installed the NetBeans. Okay, so basically I'm going to use this documentation to explain what you want to do. So you're going to actually open NetBeans IDE. Okay. And then you are going to create a project. So you're going to click File, New Project, or you can just type the combination of this key, Control-Shift-N, okay? And then what you're going to see is the New Project pane. So here, these are project templates. You can actually pick and choose any project template of your choice. Since we are building Java application, you want to choose Java and Java application, okay? And then you're going to see this new Java application window here. So you provide the name of your project, My Hello Project, okay? And you can specify your project location. As a default, it's going to be user, sang, or something, right? Your home directory, but you can choose any directory of your choice. And then you can specify your main class, okay? So type hello. So basically, hello.java file will be created, and inside it will have a main method, okay? And then if you finish, then what you're gonna see is hello class gets created. So again, you can see hello.java is created, and then the hello.java is being displayed in the editor, okay? So it does call the hello, and it does have a main method, okay? So inside this main method, you are gonna add this system.out.println statement. Again, we're gonna actually learn what this system out println is all about later on. Basically, this is to display something in the system output device, which is a display device. Okay, so just copy this code, okay, into here, and then you want to save it. Okay, so basically you're going to click this one to save it. Okay, and then you're going to run it. Okay, so basically, here before we run it, you can certainly introduce syntax error. Okay, so instead of a void, which is a keyword, you're gonna just add X. That's gonna cause a syntax error. So in NetBeans, it will let you know immediately it will let you know immediately that there is a syntax error. Okay, so it says cannot find the symbol. So symbol is void X, and it doesn't recognize what it is. So that's the reason it gives you a flag. Okay. All right, so you're gonna actually remove the error again, and then you're gonna actually run it. So all you have to do is basically right-click the project and run it, okay? So if you say build, it will compile it. If you say run it, it will build and compile it. So this is a single-click convenience that I was talking about, okay? So right-click and run, then it will run it, and result will be displayed in the console, okay? So very simple exercise. All right, so I'm going to give you about I'll give you 7 minutes to do exercise 2, okay?